Welcome to another edition of Rod's Tabletop Hoops. This special edition is featuring the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. And this was quite the place. I'm just going to pump in a little of the freeway noise that would occur around us because it's right off a freeway. And actually this building's kind of connected like a little mini mall with a couple other shops in it. But this is I would call it the east side of the building. And it's pretty spectacular with a big basketball in the air in this ball-shaped area here. I believe that's an area where the indoor sport court is, complete with some old school baskets, including a peach basket, which you get to play with at the end of the tour. This is what I first pulled up to with my wife, and we were about 20 minutes there before the opening of the Basketball Hall of Fame, so we decided to just take a little tour outside, and the day was beautiful, and this is quite a metropolitan area, one of the largest cities in the New England area, if you can include the suburbs. So once we reached here, we kind of entered on a side wing, and there's the Basketball Hall of Fame. And this big banner shows up, and you're still in this entryway. And this entryway is full of little capsules of some of the great players in the WNBA, the NBA. This was one of the, surprisingly, all free. This is before you buy your tickets to get into the Basketball Hall of Fame. And you can see Michael Jordan, a jersey or something here, a little video. So this is what entices people to pay their $30 to get into the Basketball Hall of Fame. And there's Pistol Pete Maravich and Grant Hill. This was actually some of the best displays of these guys outside of the actual Hall of Fame itself. And in the Hall of Fame, you start on level 3 and you kind of work your way down to the lower levels. It's at least level 3 or level 4. But anyway, you can see it's sponsored by Mohegan Sun. I believe that's the casino. This is kind of the pavilion area. There's some WNBA players, Cheryl Swoops, and there's some more showing how prominent that league has been this year. They've tried to, I think they attempt to keep the Hall of Fame updated, and that's, these are the popular players in WNBA history right there. And you just keep looking around. We were there, like I said, a little bit early, and there was really not many people there yet. So we kind of had the little entryway all to ourselves, kind of looked this over carefully, and then eventually approached the place where you buy your tickets. We didn't have to buy them in advance. There's the John Stockton exhibit. It was just kind of neat stuff here. This really was kind of surprising that it was all out in the hallway and you don't even have to pay to see this stuff. But I'm guessing, once again, this is how you entice the people to come and see this. And I'm sure, as I said, they update it all the time. There's James Harden. Never saw a shot he didn't like. Just a neat little set of displays here. I slowed it down a little bit so I had more time to talk here, and my video was a little shaky. And now we're inside. Top level of the Basketball Hall of Fame Naismith Memorial. Pretty cool. Got a little basketball court down below. Pretty cool. Mr. Kevin McDumbo. 2,000 blocks for Keem the Dream. My favorite center of all time besides Bill Walton. As expected, there was a lot of movies, interactive touchscreen type things that probably appeal to kids more than adults in many respects. And this was just an area of the women's game they were describing. And you just kind of flow through the catacombs, basically. And there's showing how it caught fire. And right here's a very interesting tabletop game kids would like. You basically take the touch screen, and you put your hand on a ball and you try to guide it into the basket, which I had quite a difficult time doing, especially with a camera in my hand trying to video this a little bit, but it was kind of a fun little feature. And once again, this is definitely toward the kids. All right, we got the vault for the and now we hit the vault. This is the only team they truly featured in this Hall of Fame. It was the Boston Celtics, of course. They just won the championship, and this was quite impressive. A whole vault dedicated to Celtics memorabilia. They really didn't have a Lakers vault or a Blazers vault. I was hoping they'd have a few more vaults like this, because basketball, in my mind, is more of a team game than a bunch of individual players. But this is the Hall of Fame, and this is to honor individual players at all levels of basketball, all men, women, and it does go through the history that way. Just past the Celtics vault and a few more displays is the big room, which honors all of the players. And here's a score reader board that kind of flashes between all of the players that are in the Hall of Fame. This one features Chamberlain, some of his career highlights, and looking at his photos. You can go to the touch screens and you can get little highlights, clips, biographies, stories about all of the players that are in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame here. This is much like going on the internet for me. If I wanted to know more about Rick Barry, I know where to find it. But at the same time, it's interactive for children. I can understand that. There's the Bill Schonely, honored in 2012. He's the Blazers' greatest broadcaster ever. He was fantastic, as he would say, fantastic. There's also these, the big panel, which just shows all the Hall of Famers, including here my favorite, Rick Barry, 1987, along with Pistol Pete and Walt Frazier et al. That was quite a class. Not going to get much better than that. And there's the rest of them right there. Just some years they put 5, 6, 7, 8. Other years they just didn't put hardly any or none at all. So Hall of Fame selections can be very questionable, just based on the fact there's not a ton of criteria laid out for the writers. So anyway, and there's the Magic versus Bird Magic exhibit right there. But once again, a lot to see in this Hall of Fame, and it's definitely well worth the $30 as we now head to the sport court to do a little bit of basket shooting prior to leaving. Well, here's an above view of the sport court, the Basketball Hall of Fame, James Naismith Memorial, and it was kind of a cool place to hang out at. They basically gave you a bunch of basketballs on a rack. They handed them out one at a time, and you can shoot at any of the baskets around the court. There's obviously a full court with all the different three-point lines on it, which was kind of fun to shoot, but a lot harder than you think it would be. And then, of course, on the sides, they had little old-school baskets, including a peach basket, and I popped a jumper right here and watch it run around the basket and in. So anyway, that was our basic tour of the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Looking at a few of my favorite pieces of memorabilia here, we've got jerseys galore, starting with Willis Reed on the left and LSU Pistol Pete Maravich on the right. It's fun to see those things live and in person. You follow that up with a couple Celtics. I think that's a Cousy All-Star number 14 and Bill Russell. And you got Wilt, the Dipper, and George Mike, and you can't get any better than that in the big man category. Followed by early 20th century women's and a BAA coat. Then just random memorabilia you could buy that sponsored the Kentucky Colonels et al. And some rings. I think that's a Rick Barry MVP of the playoffs 1975 and the Celtics. All those rings. And my favorite ABA piece was the McGinnis MVP ball and Jack Ramsey's 800th career NBA victory. So anyway, in this final portion, I got to join the TNT crew, and let's see how this rolls out.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame edition of the Teleprompter Challenge.
It's time for
EJ's Nino Saturday Night.
Presented by no one.
Unsullied by sponsorship since 1989, and proud of it. Apparently, there's another new challenge out there. A teleprompter is a machine here that's attached to the camera, and so you read scripts. So you're seeing some script there that they had Charles read. Now, if Charles can do it, I know you can do it. You too can be a television sports analyst. Just read the teleprompter.
Thanks, EJ. Here's 3 incredible game wins. Number 3, Dwayne Wade with the 3. It's good and the Heat win. Number 2, Dirk hits the pull-up jumper. Kobe approves. Last but not least, the Warriors and Thunder tied in overtime. Steph Curry from way downtown.
There you go.
Count. Thank you.
I want to give out a shout out. You went ballistic. That was good. That was good. I want to shout out everybody at. Y'all got to do everything I do. Well, if you get a shout out, I want to. Well, y'all want to do everything I do.
That is a wrap.
I hope you enjoyed this departure from a typical tabletop hoops video, but we'll be back with future videos that'll be a little bit more on topic with tabletop hoops. Have a good day.